Alright, another tier list video. You guys seem to like those. Obviously, they do the best on my channel, so here's another one. I didn't make this one, I just found it on Tier Maker, so I guess I'm just gonna do it. It's about the UFC personalities, the best personalities, the worst personalities. I guess we're gonna just delete this real quick. No, not this one. Just so it doesn't become complicated for us. So we have clear, funny, unintentionally funny, good, meh, and no personality. Starting off with Carla Esparza. Obviously, this is not a tier list that I would make, otherwise this girl would not be on here, so... I mean, there's nothing really redeeming about Carla Esparza. People don't like her because of her boring fighting style, but I do recall in her retirement speech, post-fight, in her last fight, post-fight interview, she had like a retirement package done for her. She had like her daughter in the octagon with her. It was wholesome, but besides the point, there's not much to say about Carla Esparza. Cyril Gahn, I think he's unintentionally funny. At one point, he was my favorite fighter. The clips that I've seen of him impersonating Nate Diaz and just all around, he's a great guy, I think, but I don't think he goes any higher than this. He can be witty at times, you know, so yeah. Colby Covington, I'd say he's meh. Some people would put him higher, like maybe clear, funny, or something like that. I just think he's too corny, man. You know, this whole gimmick of just being patriotic and whatnot, like that's just from 2019, 2020, right? Like it doesn't fly anymore. And especially because he's no longer active, people don't care about him. But sometimes he just comes in and just does his old gimmick again. It's like no one seems to care anymore. He doesn't even know how to trash talk. Seventh layer of hair, really. So yeah, I'll just put him at meh. I feel like he can be a little bit, you know, corny and repetitive at times. Francis Ngannou has no personality. Let's just get that out of the way. Nunes, I think it's meh. Pena's meh. She can trash talk, right? Like every time she gets into a fight, like if it's a part of a press conference, then she does have to trash talk. I don't know why she always does it. She trash talked Nunes. She trash talked Kayla Harrison. She is just a trash talker, right? But doesn't make her someone with like a very glaring, you know, bright personality. It's just like she's very, you know, basic, I guess. Rose Namajunas goes to the same tier. Tai Tuivasa, I think Tai is funny. I think we could all agree with that. He's funny. He's always himself. Doesn't seem to care too much. Even in the press conferences, he's always just being himself. You know, I still remember this like clip of an Instagram live between him and this like one little Asian Filipino kid, and it went viral because of how funny it was. And it's just yeah, I don't think he goes higher than that, but he shouldn't be any below, you know, anywhere below funny. Shevchenko, I think, is good. I know people don't like her because of her like fighting style and the fact that she keeps going the distance with people and stuff like that. I mean, listen, when she was in her prime, she was securing knockouts. Like it's not like she's the most boring fighter ever. She may not be in her prime anymore necessarily, but it's like every time I see clips of her, she's just sweet. Like she's just nice. She's just kind-hearted, always positive, always, you know, outspoken, stuff like that. So I don't know. I think she has a good personality. The same thing applies to Zhang. Maybe Zhang is unintentionally funny. Now I'd say she has a good personality as well with Shevchenko. Bilal, no personality. I mean, listen, he tries his best to make it seem like he has a personality, but listen, sometimes it's best for you to just be yourself and be, you know, laid back, reserved, and just be normal in the head instead of just trying to force trash talk. Is like when I compare Bilal in the press conferences against people like Leon and Gilbert Burns and all these other guys and JDM, it's just like he tries too hard to come off as like a heel of some sort. But then when you compare him in his YouTube videos or just any clips of him being himself, it's just day and night. Like, you know, it's the trash talk gimmick isn't for everybody, right? You shouldn't be forcing this whole persona onto yourself because it doesn't suit you and your character. Pereira, I think he's unintentionally funny. He can be robotic and just an NPC at times, to be honest with you. But I think he's unintentionally funny. Spams the same three words over and over again, so I can't really put him at someone with clear personality. Conor McGregor, I know everyone would put him up here. I'd say maybe he is between those two for now. Like current McGregor, I can't say he's clear because if this was 2016, 2015 McGregor, I would say he's clear. But right now, he's probably like good or I'd say meh. Just because like the only times you see him or you hear anything from him is just through Twitter, and it's just him trying his absolute best to steal other people's, you know, spotlight. like, oh, Chimaev Strickland is happening. They're fighting for my 185 belt. It's just, I don't know. And then every time he says a curse word or an Irish curse word, his fans go crazy, like, oh, this is McGregor, the best character ever. We miss McGregor. It's just, I don't know. Sometimes over exaggerated. I know he had that live stream where he was like going after everybody, Kamaru Usman, Ilya Taporia, but it's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a hater. I'm not that much of a hater, right? It's just like, I don't know. I'm not buying into the hype of McGregor anymore. Like, he used to be funny, he used to be slick, he used to be entertaining, but it's just like nowadays he's always on Twitter talking, you know, reiterating the same things. It's just, I cannot see him going above meh for me personally, right? It's just, it looks like he's still hanging on to the 2016 version of himself, if that makes sense. Derek Lewis is clear. I don't think we need to explain this. He's just, a great guy being himself. Just zero Fs. Izzy, I think Izzy has a good personality. This will piss people off, the fact that Shevchenko and Izzy are above McGregor. That's just my personal opinion, man. I cannot really put him at good if he's just not original anymore. He just looks like he's hanging on to the 2016 version of himself. He's not the same guy as he once was. It's just, I don't know. I don't think he's the same person. And just this whole funny accent, funny Irish accent, spamming insults, like, it doesn't work anymore for me, right? It's not something that's original. I know it's not a gimmick, like, he is Irish, but it's just like, I'm not gonna put him any higher because, oh, he has a funny Irish accent, he just keeps cursing people out. It's just getting too old now. But Izzy, I think Izzy, ever since he went on this 4-fight losing skid, I feel like he's humbled himself a bit more. Like, when you look at him in the YouTube videos and stuff like that, he's a bit more humble. He's not as arrogant or as weird as he once was when he was in his prime as a champion. I think he has a good personality for now. Jan Blachowicz, same thing. You can't really say much bad about this guy. Nothing really bad comes out of this dude. Prohaska, I think he's unintentionally funny, blocking punches with his head, doing weird stuff. I don't know, like, he's just... I know the hate is crazy now because he lost to Carlos Ulberg and he blew his chances, but, he obviously folded, but... Or not folded, what's the word I'm looking for? He fumbled it, yes, he fumbled the opportunity. So I know he's getting, hate from that, but I think, in general, Prohaska is unintentionally funny. Chimaev is meh. He can be funny at times, maybe. Besides calling himself a terrorist, it's just, I don't know. Like, in every interview, he barely exudes any personality, if I'm being completely honest. There's just no charisma with him. He's just monotone, mumbling, and then every now and then, I guess, I'm speaking, well, right now I'm recording this video after the press conference had just happened between him and Strickland. That was a crazy press conference, by the way. I guess maybe because of that press conference, maybe you put him at good. I'll say he's good just because of that press conference. We needed to see something like that. Vittori's meh. Masvidal, I'll say he's good. He's no longer in the UFC. He's just doing podcasts with people right now, and I think he's more tolerable than ever right now. He's chill, reserved, stuff like that. Whitaker, same thing. I don't think he's funny, and I don't think he has a bad personality. I think he's in the middle. He's good. Miocic can be unintentionally funny. Strickland, I'm gonna put him at meh, and let me explain why. I know you're gonna tell me that I'm biased and stuff like that because I like Chimaev, or, well, actually, I don't really care about Chimaev all that much, but it's just like, I have Strickland at meh simply because I don't rate the people that say controversial things for the sake of being controversial. Like, sure, you want to promote yourself and you want to market yourself and you want to be different, but it's like when you try your absolute best to be controversial, like, I'm talking Strickland before he fought Fluffy. His last fight was Dricus du Plessis last year, right? He comes back this year, fights Fluffy, and in the build-up towards that fight in the media day, because there was no press conference, a fight night event, in the media day, it just looked like he was forcing it, going after, like, the Mexicans and the Muslims and going after these people and that person. It's just like, to me, I feel like he was doing too much, and he was just, in my opinion, he was obviously trying to just rage bait and just clip farm and, farm engagements and stuff like that and interactions, because he knows that, like, there's a huge problem with the promotion of the fighters and the marketing of the fighters in the UFC right now. So he wants to be different and just say controversial things for the sake of being controversial. It's the same thing with Bryce Mitchell. I could go ahead and put him in here as well. Like, they're both very similar in the sense that there are no redeeming qualities about them, and they just say the stupidest things, the most outrageous things to go viral. But behind those, like, if you exclude those factors, they have no personality. It's just, they have no personalities. They just keep saying the most ridiculous things, and they blow up because of it. So Yeah, Tony Ferguson, I'll say he is unintentionally funny. Or he could be even higher, to be honest with you. Where do I put him? You know what? Let's put him at funny. I think Tony Ferguson is funny. Kamaru Usman, I'd say he's meh. He's a bit more tolerable now that he has a podcast with Henry Cejudo and we get to see more from him. But when he was in his prime, he was just too cocky, too arrogant, too egoistic, right? But right now he's more chill and stuff like that. You could also put him at good, but I'll just keep him at meh. Leon has no personality, with all due respect. Nate Diaz is good. I know this whole gimmick of like Stonkton maybe. I know he's from Stonkton, but it's just like it's getting old, Like you have to do something else. But Nate Diaz, I think, has a good personality all around. Ilya Topuria, same thing. I'm not gonna say he's like clear because when you listen to him speak, you get shades of McGregor at times, right? Like some of his trash talk is directly copied from McGregor. So it's like I don't know. I cannot say that he's unintentionally funny, but he's not also like a complete direct clone of McGregor because he is being himself most of the time as well. So I'd say he's good for now. John Jones, I'd say he's meh. Nothing redeeming about this guy. He's just extremely weird, terrible role model for the people who just, I don't know. I don't like John Jones, if I'm being completely honest. So, yeah, that's just bias from my end. Habib, I'd say Habib is unintentionally funny. Yeah, I don't think he goes anything below that or above that. Chandler, I think Chandler is a good guy. I know he can be sometimes, you know, dirty inside the octagon in terms of like committing fouls, grabbing the gloves, stuff like that, holding on to the cage. But I think outside of that, I haven't really heard much, negativity surrounding his name. I think he's just an all-around great guy, passionate, hard worker, tries to motivate the people, but it's just that no one cares about him anymore because he just keeps losing fights, right? Charles Oliveira for me is clear, one of my favorite fighters ever. Again, this is my own list, so if you guys have any disagreements, you can feel free to comment them down below, but those are my personal picks. So Charles Oliveira is just funny. He's always being himself. He's always real, looks out for his people, for his community and stuff like that. So yeah, Dustin Poirier, I think he's unintentionally funny. Islam, I think, where do I put Islam? I think Islam is funny as well. I think he can be clear, but maybe I'll just keep him here. Holloway, I think he has a good personality. Can be a bit redundant at times, like, we're going to find out Saturday night. We're going to find out Saturday night, baby. Always says that, right? Always says that in every single press conference. What does he also say? It is what it is, baby. It is what it is. It's just the same two catchphrases, right? But other than that, I think he has a good personality. I think he's a great guy. Paddy Pimblett, I think, is unintentionally funny just because of his accent. It can be, double standards because I just put McGregor at meh. But, like, McGregor has been here since, like, 2016, right? Like, it's getting old now. Whereas with Paddy, he's a newcomer. He's a fresh face, stuff like that. The names that he calls his opponents, Space Cadet. You know what I mean? Like, Space Cadet. He can be unintentionally funny. Whereas McGregor, I feel like he just forces it, especially nowadays on Twitter. He knows that he's just not the same as he once was. Anderson Silva, I think he's a good dude. And Volkanovski, where do I put Volk? Do I put him at good or do I put him at clear? I like Volkanovski a lot, man. He may not be like the most exciting fighter to watch, but like, do I put him at clear or do I put him at good? You know what, let's just put him at clear. I like him as a person. He's a great guy, great father, great everything, great role model. Doesn't get into controversies unless people are the ones trash talking him like Ilya Topuria was. Besides that, he doesn't really enforce the trash talk. He's just always positive, stuff like that. I don't know. I just like him. I think maybe even Islam could go up here as well with him. They're both, very good people as well. So that's my personal list. What do you guys think about it? I know people are going to complain about the Conor McGregor positioning in this list, but you just have to hear me out. Like, it's no longer prime McGregor. If we're talking prime McGregor, then yeah, I would say he's up here. But it's just like, he's not the same person, right? You barely see him. He's always on Twitter saying the same things over and over again. Nothing original. It's just, to me personally, I don't find him to be that interesting. It's just regurgitated at this point. and it's getting lame and old. So, you know, unless he comes back for International Fight Week and we get to see him at the press conference again and we get to see him in action on the microphone, then it can be a different story. But for now, this is my tier list. Let me know what you guys think. If you disagree, agree, and I will see you next time. See ya.